Welcome to Lifestyle Alchemy. I'm Sydney, medical astrologer, energetic alchemist, and transformation expert. In this podcast, I share what I'm actually living and learning. Sometimes that's decoding my birth chart. Sometimes it's rewiring and regulating my nervous system. Sometimes it's just real talk about what's working and what's not. This show goes beyond astrology. You'll hear about health and wellness, mindset and energy work, manifestation, spirituality, and all the things that help us actually embody who we're meant to be. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to Lifestyle Alchemy. Today, you guys, we're going to get very vulnerable, which I don't even know why I'm prefacing by saying that, because I feel like every single episode I get vulnerable and feel like I'm very transparent and I just keep it real. I appreciate when people are like that. And so that's how I want to be. And so when I was thinking, oh, it's Wednesday, I need to record an episode. What do I want to talk about? I was like, oh, probably should talk about the exact thing that I've been kind of just working through in real time. And it's kind of in the beginning phases, because this is literally a realization that I just made within the last, 24 hours or so. So I'm kind of just taking you along on this journey with me. I'm going to talk it out with you. I'm going to tell you this pretty massive limiting belief, subconscious, but now it's conscious. Now it's been made conscious, but it started out just subconscious. Limiting belief that I realized, that I uncovered and realized that I have running in my subconscious, which of course we do not want, because as we know, if we've been in this space for any length of time, you've probably heard that our subconscious runs at least, at the minimum, 95% of our reality. And the conscious is only, whatever's left over, whether that's 4%, 5%, 3%, who knows. But, obviously a very, 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 very small amount. And so we want to have our subconscious minds working for us and not against us. And obviously there's a lot to that. There's a lot that goes into that. But whenever we can identify a limiting belief, that is step number one. And so whenever we can identify it, bring the subconscious or unconscious to the consciousness, or to the conscious level, and then we can start to eradicate it, reprogram it, alchemize it. And so that's the stage that I'm at right now. And so, okay, let me just go through this with you. So if you listened, obviously, or even if you didn't listen, if you just saw the title of the episode last Thursday, you know that unfortunately I had a miscarriage. And, if you've been listening to the podcast any length of time, you know that was not a surprise pregnancy. That was a planned pregnancy. We wanted. It wasn't oh, okay, we're pregnant. It was oh no, we did this on purpose and we wanted this. And so obviously miscarriage is sad no matter what. No matter what the circumstances are, but I might argue that it's more sad whenever it is something that you very much wanted, was to be pregnant and to have a baby. So that was very undesirable. And I have also just been noticing themes. I've been noticing patterns in my life lately. And some of it has been going on for longer than others. Obviously the miscarriage was a one-time thing, a big thing that just happened recently, but there's been other smaller things that have been happening for longer. And if it's just one small thing here and there, okay, maybe it's not such a big deal. But then whenever you start to see patterns and when you start to see multiple different things happening, but they all kind of give you the same feeling, I'm not good enough, or I never get what I want, or, things like that, that's when you need to start to really fucking pay attention, because what that means is that it's probably all coming from the same central limiting belief. It's just coming in multiple different forms to show you, like, hey, this is the program you've got running, and maybe you might want to change that. Like, a lot of people believe, and I've talked about this on like the really early episodes of the podcast, a lot of people believe that that's actually your higher self reflecting that to you, a lot of people call it a reflection. Like, that's your higher self saying, hey, what you're saying that you want, and like what you're manifesting, and like the things that you're trying to create in your life, are actually in direct contradiction to these limiting beliefs or these programs that you have running in your subconscious. So like, here's a situation, I'm going to reflect it to you, and hopefully that will get your attention. And it's usually going to happen in ways that would get your attention, because obviously if your higher self is like kind of directing the show, like, your higher self knows you. So your higher self knows you more than anyone or anything, knows you better than you know yourself. And so obviously that's going to show up in ways that actually will get your attention. Like, a lot of people have a reflection of like gaining weight whenever their body is like very, very, very important to them, or financial reflections of like unexpected bills or something whenever the financial area of life is like the most important to them. The reflections can happen in any of the areas of life, but typically they show up in the areas that are like the most valuable to you at that time. And that can change. Like, obviously you might go through a season where financial is like really super important to you, and then it might change to where family is maybe taking the center stage for you. And so I think that's kind of what's happened for me, is like my values are changing a little bit. And so my reflections are starting to look a little different. But however, it's still, there's this, I've identified that there is this one theme that is producing multiple different kinds of undesirable circumstances and happenings and reflections. And I really can kind of narrow it down to this one way that it makes me feel. And if I know how it makes me feel, then I can pretty easily identify what the limiting belief is that it stems from. And so this is kind of a multi-layer process. And so, like I said, I'm going to talk you through kind of how I identified what were some of the things that I've been experiencing, and how did I kind of narrow it down to, okay, this must be the belief, or this must be at least one of the beliefs that is causing all this nonsense. And I'm going to tell you what I'm doing about it, what I'm going to be doing about it. Like I said, this is very early, but I'm just going to take you through the process in real time and tell you how I'm going to rewire it, because I'm for sure going to rewire it. So, all right. So basically, I have noticed that there's been a lot of situations happening, and I've even like said this out loud to Corey. This is really sad, but like I actually said it out loud to Corey whenever it was the day that I had the miscarriage. We obviously had gone to the ER, and we were there for like, I think more like probably like 4 or 5 hours. And which is like really short for an ER trip. So that sounds like a lot, but it like really wasn't as much as it could have been. So I was starving, and I hadn't eaten it. I think I like woke up that morning, I had my coffee and I had a yogurt, and then like it happened at like 9:30. So obviously we like immediately got dressed and went to the doctor. And so by the time, they run the test, they do an ultrasound, they blah, 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 like they do whatever they're doing, I'm fucking starving. And yes, I'm in pain, but I'm also like, my stomach is empty. It's growling. I'm very, very hungry. And they told me that I couldn't eat because they weren't sure if they were going to need to do like any procedures or anything, based on like what the ultrasound showed. Like, we were still waiting on the ultrasound results to come back, which I'm like, So this is such a side note, but like what happened to the days, and maybe this is just something that they do in like the OBGYN because they're like trained for it, but I'm like, what happened to the days where you go to you get an ultrasound and they just like interpret it right then for you? Like, why do we have to do this thing where like you have someone to come in, they do the ultrasound, and then you wait fucking 2 hours for someone else to interpret it? Like, anyway, that's a side note. Anyway, so we leave the ER. I'm fucking starving. And so this is, man, I'm just really outing myself with this episode in like so many different ways. So my fun fact, my comfort meal, one of my biggest, like most central comfort meals, and I am embarrassed to admit this, but like it is what it is McDonald's. And you're probably shocked to hear that because I am a healthy person and I would never normally like advocate for something such as McDonald's. The food quality is shit. Like, I know it is not good for you. I literally know that intellectually, of course, but tell that to my nervous system. Like, I grew up on Happy Meals and the Mighty Kids meals that they started having, like, you know, the like big kids meals or whatever. And that is just like, that's what my parents we had, that was like our fast food that we went to whenever we had fast food, which was fairly often. You know, my parents, like, they didn't, I think a lot of our parents, like, they just didn't have the awareness of like nutrition, like what is available out there now. And so, you know, a lot of us, my family included, like, even though we had like the resources, it wasn't ever like a money thing. It was just like, we ate, you know, frozen food, we ate canned vegetables, canned fruit. Like, we just, I don't know, like, I really don't know. But anyway, that's what happened. And that's kind of the stuff that, I mean, we had like fresh food too, but like, you know, it was not unusual if we had like canned green beans or whatever, like with our steak or chicken or whatever. And, now I'm like, oh my God, I can literally not even imagine doing that, but that's just how it was. And whenever we went, you know, to fast food, it was McDonald's. And, I loved it. I mean, I loved it. My brother loved it. My mom liked it. And so that's just like what we always wanted. And, so my nervous system like really associates that with comfort, with safety, with like joy. And it just like, even though traditionally speaking, as an adult, my system has been pretty reactive to foods of that kind of quality. Like, they haven't historically, as an adult, agreed with me. I've really never had a negative reaction from McDonald's. And I truly, like, now knowing what I know about nervous system and, even like traditional Chinese medicine, like just knowing what I know about how our bodies and our nervous systems, our brains recognize certain foods as like safe or unsafe, depending on like the memories you have associated with it, or like kind of just the story, the narrative that you have running in the background about whatever that kind of food is, totally determines like how your body is going to digest it. And this is, again, a side note, but like, say you are having a meal, like, let's say you're eating spaghetti and you get broken up with, like, you're during your eating, you are like having a really not good conversation and you're getting your heart broken. Your body is now going to associate that food with that emotion. And so moving forward, when you eat that again, if you do, it's probably not going to handle it very well. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to have like digestive issues or like you're going to feel sick or something, but like your body is going to like take a hit from that, basically, like, even if you don't fully realize it. And so it's the same when it's like a positive. when it's a positive emotion or a positive association. And so that is the story of how I have, like, McDonald's has always been like my trauma meal, my comfort meal. Meaning, I say trauma meal because, like, whenever I was in the absolute throes of devastating, soul crushing heartbreak, literally, like, I'm one of those people who, like, I don't really eat whenever I'm super stressed or like super devastated. Like, I am not a stress eater. I am a stress not eater. My body just like shuts down and I don't like want to eat food. Like, I have like a nervous stomach. I don't have a like, oh, I'm hungry when I'm stressed response. And so I just remember, like, when I was going through, you know, the worst of the worst heartbreak and devastation and like nervous system dysregulation, all of that, like, literally the only food I wanted was my McDonald's meal, which all I get is just like a burger with no bun. And like, it's so random, but like, that was like, I swear to God, like, McDonald's saved my life so many times during that period of my life, which is just sounds so crazy. And I would like literally feel so weird every time I would like DoorDash it. I would be like, I know that this is not good for me, but it is good for me because my nervous system is like craving it, and it knows that like it just associates this with safety and comfort and like better times. And so not shocking that after the whole miscarriage situation, all I wanted was a McDonald's cheeseburger. No bun, of course, because I'm still gluten free. Even when I'm having my McDonald's, I'm still gluten free. So we go through the drive-through McDonald's and, you know, order what we're getting, and we don't check it because I'm just assuming, like, I mean, they always get it right usually. And so I'm just assuming it's all going to be correct. And we get home and obviously, you know, the mood is low. We're very sad. I haven't really cried yet at that point because whenever I'm like, when I was at the doctor and everything, like I needed to be like alert and answering questions and, you know, being able to explain things. You know, when you're at the doctor, when you're at the hospital or whatever, you know, so many different people come in the room and ask you to repeat yourself. Like, you have to tell your story like 8 different times. And so I didn't want to be a ball of emotions. I didn't want to be crying. Like, I just wanted to be able to get through that. And then I knew that when I got home, I would be able to express my emotions. And so we get home and I'm opening the bag, like I'm getting our food out, and I open mine and I see that they didn't do it right. They got it wrong. And I just lost it. Like, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay. So now, and obviously I'm not only crying about the food, like I'm clearly like, that was the catalyst to me having an emotional release that I needed to have about the situation. But I was also very frustrated about the food too. And so I was extremely triggered about it. I'm like bawling. Corey is like holding me. And I just remember saying, like, why can't I have what I want? Why can't I have what I want? And that is so telling to what the limiting belief is that I clearly hold, which whenever you look at it and you look at my life, or even just when I look at my life, like, it doesn't even have to be someone from the outside. It's literally me. Like, when I look at my life, I'm like, I have almost everything that I want. Like, I live in the exact home that was our favorite one. Like, we looked at several and we got the one that we wanted, the exact one that we wanted, that has everything that we wanted and needed and more. We got that. I'm in my dream relationship with literally a man that is so amazing. Like, I literally can't even like put it into words right now. Like, he is my person. And I get to do so many things that I love to do, and I'm only just getting started, like with my business and the podcast and medical astrology and just like all of that. I drive my dream car. I have the sweetest, most precious angel baby dogs. And like, there's so, and I'm able to get pregnant like that. At least we know that, there are just so many things that I can look at and say, like, I have what I want and I get what I want. But there are certain situations, like this being one of them, or two of them, I guess, like the miscarriage and the food order being wrong, that like where my triggered response was to be like, why can't I just have what I want? And so that shows me that I have a belief running in the background that I can't fully have what I want. Like, I have some of it, or I have most of it, or whatever, but like the full thing is like just out of reach, or like I get what I want but then it gets taken away. Like, so for me, like, the belief that I'm going to be consciously reprogramming is that I always get what I want. Like, I'm going to be replacing that limiting belief with I always get what I want, or better. I'm probably going to add the or better, because that just feels like I love the this or something better. And so like I always get what I want or better, to me just like feels really expansive, because also I truly believe that often what we want is actually not even as good as like what we could have. Like, we often, we have such a limited view or understanding, perspective of like what is even possible, and what our higher self may have in mind for us. But because we only know what we know, and we only have our frame of reference currently, we may not even be like thinking of that what we actually could have and how much better it could actually be. And so I always like to leave room, like when I'm manifesting, I always like to leave room for like, here's what I want, but like I'm also open to something so much better that I may not even be like thinking of right now. Okay. So the other, like the pattern that I have noticed, and like this is so like it's okay, I don't want to say it's small, but it's seemingly random or insignificant, like could easily be explained away. But the food order being wrong, like that happens to me all the time. And you may be like, yeah, that happens to everybody. No. I mean, yes, maybe it does, but like it has been happening to me very consistently for months now. And I've been trying to crack the code on this. I've been kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, cause Corey and I DoorDash a decent amount. And then also I sometimes just DoorDash myself. But it's very interesting to me that whenever Corey and I DoorDash together, it's never his order that's wrong. It's always mine. And oftentimes it's like completely wrong. Sometimes it's just a little bit wrong, like it's close, but they just didn't get the modification, or because like, obviously I'm gluten-free. Everything I order is going to be gluten-free. Sometimes I have to, make modifications, like remove bread or remove croutons, whatever, stuff like that. So sometimes it's something small, and sometimes it's like, no, literally this is like not the right thing at all. And either way, it's very upsetting, obviously, whenever you're hungry and you like pay for your food and you wait for it to arrive and it gets there and then it's fucking wrong. And in my case, a lot of times it's like, I literally can't eat it. It's not like, oh, I wish it was different. It's like, no, I cannot eat this because of my dietary restrictions. And so it's even more upsetting then. And of course, like with DoorDash, you can report the issue and they might give you a refund or whatever, but it's like, that's not going to fix my hunger right now. Like, send me a new food, send me a new meal. So anyway, I have been noticing that's been happening to me for months. And so that like I hadn't been able to figure out like, okay, what is this reflection? Like, what is this showing me? Like, and the reason I know it is a reflection is because I get triggered as fuck about it every time it happens. And so it wasn't until just, a couple weeks ago, whenever the miscarriage happened and I said, why can't I just have what I want? I was like, oh, okay, that's it. That is what it is. Like, this thing that's this recurring thing that keeps fucking happening is showing me that I somehow, somewhere believe that I can't just have exactly what it is that I want. And of course, I'm not saying that that was like 100% the cause of the miscarriage as well. Like, I think that there is a large emotional root cause aspect to miscarriage, but obviously also there are physiological causes too, which I talked about like last week in the episode, like chromosomal abnormalities, blah, 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 blah. So I'm not saying that like that limiting belief is like the sole reason that I had to go through that, but I do think it probably contributed, and so yeah, there's just been several different instances that I've been experiencing that have been reflecting this belief to me. And it just came to a head and I was like, oh my God, like that is what it is. Like that is the underlying belief. Okay. And so what am I doing to rewrite this? I am going to create a note in my phone and I'm going to call it proof that I always get what I want or more. And I'm going to start to just take an inventory of all of the things, all of the ways, all of the reasons, all of the things that I have that I truly want, like all the times that I can remember that I have gotten what I want or better. And I'm going to do that for like an inventory of things that have already happened. And then I'm also going to keep doing it moving forward as new things happen. And they can be big things like, manifested my absolute dream person, got everything I wanted and more in my relationship. Or it can be something really small like, I went to Starbucks and I ordered a drink and they got it exactly right and it tasted so good. Or I went to brunch with my cousin and my food was so fucking delicious. Like it was even better than I expected. It could be like I ordered a shirt online or pants online or whatever, and they came and they fit me so well. Like I ordered the exact right size. It's exactly what I wanted. It looks so good. It's so flattering. Like it can be something really insignificant. Actually, in my opinion, it should be like you should do insignificant things and significant things. It shouldn't just be big stuff. It should be everything that you can possibly think of, because that's just more proof to layer in there and like convince yourself and show your subconscious mind, which of course that's what we're really trying to get to, because that's what matters the most. To just prove it, like here's so much evidence supporting this belief that I always get what I want or better or more. And so that is how, it's very simple. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it is very simple, but you have to be consistent with it. It's not something that you really, maybe there's like some people out there who can just do it once and then that's like enough. But for most of us, our limiting beliefs are pretty in there. They're pretty deep in there. And so most of us are going to have to do this, for a while, and we're going to have to do it, every day or at least every couple days, but just consistently, to be able to impress the new belief upon our subconscious mind, which obviously that's what we want. So that is my little journey that I'm taking you on. So if you have a similar limiting belief, whether it's that you can't get what you want, or it's that you aren't aren't blank enough, or whatever it is, like you always get picked last, you're never prioritized, you can't do this because you're not smart enough, you're not thin enough, whatever kind of limiting belief it is that you have, you can just create. One really, really effective way is to create the new belief is to do what I said, like create a note in your phone, title it proof that your new positive belief, to cancel out the old one. And then just start clocking those little and big things that would prove that new belief to be true. Because I promise you, there already are things in your life that would prove that is true, like that the limiting belief is not true and that the positive belief is true. Like there are already things, and now your new job is to just start looking for reasons of every single day of why that new positive belief is true. And I promise you will start to see things shift. Like I've done this so many times with other beliefs. And it really does. Like for me, I see results quickly. And so I just encourage you to do that. And if you're having trouble kind of identifying what is the cause, like what is the limiting belief, what I want you to do is start to look at, like I said, like what kind of patterns are you seeing? What kinds of things are happening that are triggering you? And how are they making you feel? Like, because if it's multiple different things that are happening, but it's all the same general feeling, like I feel like I'm not being prioritized. I feel like that people are being like this to me. I feel like people are being mean to me. I feel like people are putting me last. I feel like I'm being taken advantage of. Like, there's so many different things you could be feeling, but I want you to look and find the theme. What is the feeling? How are you feeling? And how are you feeling like people are being towards you? Or how do you feel like situations are being towards you? And that's the thing. That's the limiting belief. And so put that into words and then flip it to the opposite, which would be positive and empowering. And that's where you create that note in your phone and you start creating the proof. And just a side note, whenever you are flipping, like let's say you come up with your limiting belief, like let's say I am never prioritized. Everyone puts me last. What you don't want to do is flip that using any kind of negative language. Like you wouldn't want to say, I am never not prioritized. Like you would not want to use the negative language. You would instead want to say, I am always prioritized. People always put me first because I put myself first. Like language really matters, and your subconscious mind doesn't pick up on words like not, don't. And so you don't want to use those words. That's just another side note. So always use positive language whenever you're flipping a belief. Don't just say the opposite. Like, okay, if the limiting one is I'm never enough, I am not never enough. Like you wouldn't say that. That doesn't even sound right. You would want to say I am always enough. So that might sound obvious, but I've seen some really crazy affirmations that have a lot of negative like language, like never and not and don't. And I'm just like, oh my God. Okay. So I had to say that. All right. So that's what I have for you today. I will keep you updated as I start to prove this new empowering belief to my subconscious mind and start to really make that a neural pathway and just really cement that into my subconscious mind. I'm going to keep you updated on how things change and how my DoorDash orders start to be correct, and how I start winning. Another thing that was happening was last night, Corey and I were playing Skippo, which is a card game. And we love that game so much. And usually we play with other people, but last night we were just playing like one-on-one. And I was getting so mad because we played 3 games and he won every single one of them. And I was like, how the fuck is this possible? Like, yes, it's a game of strategy, but we both have good strategy. Like, I've been playing the game longer than him, and we both were playing smart. So it wasn't like I just wasn't playing a good game. Like, we were playing smart. But so the rest of it, it's like strategy and luck. So the rest of it was just luck of like what cards he had in his deck, which obviously like is not something we can control. We shuffle the cards, we deal the decks, and then we get what we get. And so I was like getting so pissed because he won 3 times in a row. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I'm playing a good game. Like, what is going on? And so just, I found myself like going back to that belief of like, not that like winning a card game with my partner like literally matters at all. Like, clearly it doesn't. But like, obviously, most of us have a little bit of a competitive spirit, and we want to feel successful. At least I would have been happy to win at least one. But anyway, so I just kind of found myself like kind of coming back to that, like, why can't I have what I want? Like, you know, kind of a thing. And so that was where I was like, all right, it's definitely like, this is all related, and my higher self is just showing me like in so many different ways that I really, really need to tackle this limiting belief, because it feels a little bit overwhelming. It's like it's starting to infiltrate like so many areas of my life, whether it's just like joy and fun, or whether it is, physical, like with nourishment and my food, or whether it is literally like creating, a life or, just it's so many different ways that it's showing up. And so it's not something I want to just ignore or like try to explain away anymore. It's something I definitely want to fix and reprogram. And guess what? We have the power to do that. We literally do. And no one else can do it for us. That's the other thing I want to say is like, this is not something that your mom or your partner or your best friend can help you with or do for you. Like, you literally have to do this for yourself. No one else can control your subconscious mind except for you. And so that is what I want to leave you with. So if you have any questions, or if you just want to chat or tell me that like you relate to this and you have this same limiting belief or a similar one, my DMs are open. I love to chat with you guys. You can message me on Instagram, or you can message me on Substack. I'm very, very, very active on Substack. Lots of fresh content, lots of articles getting published, teaching on like going very, very, very nitty gritty with medical astrology. And yeah, I'm also active in the DMs over there. So would love to connect with you over there. Yeah, okay. Well, I will talk to you next Thursday. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week.